Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is still the beginning of 2026. And I thought since so many folks are still thinking about their plan for 2026, I know, the holidays were busy for a lot of folks. And if you haven't quite figured out your content plan, I wanted to just pop on the podcast here and share a few things that we are teaching inside our Get Social Smart Academy. We just finished our 2026 planning masterclass. And if you missed that, you can still grab that class. I will drop the link in the show notes below. Or if you're part of our Get Social Smart Academy family, that is included in your membership. And I'll drop that link below too, so you can check that out. And a couple of things that we talked about, we talked about in our planning masterclass. Of course, one of the things that I would say is done is better than perfect, right? You have to have a plan. I've worked with a plan. I've worked without a plan. Having a plan is always preferable, but you can't get too hard on yourself too. Part of a plan is that a plan is movable. It's adjustable. So I want to kind of walk through on this podcast a few of my tips and things that we do when we are thinking about our plan. And hopefully this will help you out. So whether you're in real estate, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're using, however you're using social media to build your business, I hope this will help in your journey. Okay, so the first thing I think is really important when it comes to planning out your 2026 plan or any kind of marketing plan, you have to first see where you're at. So I highly recommend doing a self-audit. The word audit is a little scary, but simply it's going to Google and Googling yourself and seeing what comes up. What are the first few things that come up? Obviously, there's AI that's popping up. But in addition to that, what are the websites that are coming up? Is it your Facebook? Is it your TikTok? Is it your Instagram, LinkedIn? And then taking the time to look at each one of those platforms, look to see, are your profile photos updated? Is your contact info there? When's the last time you posted? And just really doing a deep dive and figuring out where is the best opportunity for you to spend your time. I really don't think for most folks they need to be everywhere. I think you need to pick a couple platforms that you enjoy being and that your clients are on. So do a little bit of a self-audit, look at all the sites. If you are a realtor, you might also look at realtor.com and Zillow and Yelp and Google and all your social medias. And again, just make sure if people land on one of those, are they able to connect with you? Is it clear what, where you work, what you do, what your expertise is? It's super important. One of the things I also said too in our masterclass was make sure you check your email signature. So often I'll have someone email me and I'll look at their email signature and their links are broken. So check your links, especially on your website. The next thing I think is really important is to really think about your voice and how you want to come across. In 2026, I know it's a buzzword, but authenticity is more important than ever before. There's so much stuff we could Google. There's so much stuff we could find out on ChatGPT. So I want to hear how you really feel about something. I want to hear your expertise. And one of the ways to really get into the groove of this is to figure out, who do you love to work with? Like the people you work with and you're like, those are awesome people. And so if we can think about that and kind of have those people in mind when we're creating content and posting content, it's going to make it a lot easier. I would also encourage, folks to think about why they love what they do. How did you get into doing what you're doing? What's most important to you, personally and professionally? And doing a little bit of deep dive into finding your voice, I think is absolutely key. The next part, and this is not a surprise if you followed me for any period of time, is it's got to get on your schedule. Anything that is a priority in life has got to get on the schedule. And, one of the things Paul and I do at the beginning of the year is we sit down, we look at the year ahead, we mark off vacation time or any time that we are taking time off to be with our boys, our family, our friends, and just prioritizing that first and then time blocking other things. So specifically for content creation, one thing that we've taught for years, and I still do this, I think it's still really valuable, is taking time 5 or 10 minutes a day to focus 5, where I look for 5 posts that speak to me. And I like, comment, engage, leave a meaningful comment, say something more than just a couple words. On a daily basis, you should be responding to comments, responding to your DMs. It's not just posting and running, but being really intentional. On a weekly basis, set aside an hour or so once a week where you're either posting or scheduling content, looking ahead. I don't think you should schedule everything, but, really getting a sense of what your strategy is looking like. And then on a monthly basis, I've also said this forever. It's like, if I'm going to do my hair and makeup and make one video, you better believe I'm going to make 4 or 5. And right now, like for example, my drafts, my TikTok, I have 5 drafts ready to go. Once I post those, I'll download them. I'll repost them to Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. But they're ready to go, right? And that doesn't happen by accident. So taking time once or twice a month to create a bunch of content, edit that content, and have it be ready to go if you're posting a new video, let's say every Tuesday, Thursday, it's not Tuesday morning where you're like, I got to get that video done. No, it should already be done. So I just found, again, especially if you are using social media and you're not a creator, you're not an influencer, you just happen to be in business, you're self-employed, you run some sort of business, maybe you're a realtor. I have a lot of realtors who follow me, and this is one piece of the business. So setting aside time to create that content makes a huge difference. Now, part of how you create a lot of content, by the way, is really thinking about what type of content you can create easily on a monthly basis. I'm a big believer in creating evergreen content or timeless content, frequently asked questions. This is not the kind of content you're going to go viral on, okay? But like, for example, in real estate, things like who pays for what or how to find a lender, that's the type of content you could post today, but you could also repost 3, 6, 12 months from now. And when it comes to making a plan, I really believe in looking like an editorial calendar, almost like a media company. If you're to look at, the New York Times or Forbes or any big media organization, they have an editorial calendar. They have a theme for each month. So this is something we've done for years. I have a theme each month. Like January, our theme is strategy. We talk all about strategy. Another month, we'll talk about Instagram. Another month, we'll talk about, YouTube or whatever it might be. If you're in real estate, maybe you have 1 month where you talk all about staging, and 1 month where you talk about luxury real estate, and 1 month where you talk about moving tips and tricks, and 1 month where you talk about relocation. I want you to consider having one big theme, because if you have a theme, it's a lot easier to sit down and record 4 or 5 videos all within that theme than jumping around. Now, you can always fill in throughout the month if something comes up. You're like, I want to make a video about that. Cool, you can do that. But having a theme makes a big difference. And also, again, thinking about evergreen or timeless content. Another thing we talked about today was content organization. You got to get organized. So whether that's digitally with the Notes app, whether that's with, a notepad, but I always like to keep a running list of ideas. I always say, look at your life as content. So as you're out and about, having a place to store those ideas, and then getting organized with, if you're using Canva, using the folders, if you're using your phone, organize stuff into albums on your phone. A lot of folks ask me, where do I put my content outside of social media? I like to upload. I upload mine to Dropbox. Some people put it in Google Drive. I like to get it off the phone, right, to stay organized. I also use Google Sheets a lot. In fact, we're going to be doing a class next week in the Academy all on Google Sheets. It's not the sexiest platform, but Google Sheets is easy because it is free, and you can, look at it on your phone. You can look at it on your computer if you have an assistant. You can share it back and forth. You don't have to worry about what's the most updated version. And it's great to keep track of your marketing when you're sending things, when you're posting things, content ideas, stuff like that. The last few things I would say too is just, again, getting a system in place. So if you're scheduling some of your content, you may be using tools like Meta Business Suite or Later.com or Repurpose.io. You want to have some tools in your toolbox that you regularly use. If it's video editing, you might use CapCut or Canva or Descript, and then just get yourself into a repeatable routine with your content. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's not complicated, but you do have to have a plan. And the reason why I preach this so much is the algorithms have changed. I mean, getting traction on social media is more challenging than it was just 3 years ago, right? ChatGPT kind of changed the game in a lot of ways. And when you post, you're not necessarily your followers are not necessarily seeing your content. The people seeing your content are people who are interested in the topic you're talking about. So that's why it's important to be consistent. It's important to have a plan. It's important to show up. I want to hear you. I want to see you. I don't want to see a stock photo. I want to connect with you. It's all about the know, like, and trust factor. So we can't control the algorithms. We can't control, views and likes and clicks, but we can control how we show up, and working with a plan is always better than winging it. Don't wing it. Okay. So those are just kind of the cliff notes, just kind of a quick sneak peek, if you will, into our 2026 planning masterclass. If you would like to get access to that full class, again, I will put the link below to that. The class is a 90-minute class. It includes a 24-page in-depth workbook. You can purchase that class for $99, or if you're, again, part of the Get Social Smart Academy, that is included in your membership. So we'll put those links below. Stay tuned, because like I said, all month of January, we're talking about strategy. I would love to hear from you. What are your questions when it comes to social media and strategy? What's working, what's not working? As always, the best thing you can do is share this out. Feel free to take a screenshot on whatever platform you're watching tag me. I'm at Katie Lance. Would love to connect with you. All right, my friends, let's do it. Let's make 2026 a year that we can get it planned and get it done. All right, lots of stuff happening in the world for sure, but this is one thing we can control. All right, my friends, have a great rest of your day. We will talk to you soon. Cheers to you. Bye for now.